All right. So this is what happened in this particular case, Miss Bakay, Miss Abad, sorry. This triggered an alert. Was there a suspicious transaction report filed by the RCBC with the Anti-Money Laundering Council on these 4 transactions?
There was, Your Honor.
There was?
There was.
Okay, good. Was there a suspicious transaction report filed by PNB? Is PNB here? I thought I heard. Mr. I'm sorry, Baklang? Yes. Filed by PNB when $80 million were all transferred to the account of Mr. William Go.
I believe there was, Your Honor.
I beg your pardon?
I believe there was a suspicious transaction report.
Would you like to
filed
confirm that with
by-
your office and have them inform the committee, please?
I was informed there was, Your Honor.
There was.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, confirm this because let's do some of our homework, no? On February 5, Friday, the account of La Grosas transferred $22 million to the account of Mr. Go. Is that correct? February 5. These are figures you gave the committee in an earlier meeting, and I just want to read them or spread them into the record of the committee during this hearing. $22 million, February 5, La Grosas to Go.
I confirm, Your Honor, that there was a transfer, or there was a withdrawal in the account of Mr. Lagrosas on February 5, 2016 in the amount of $22 million,
All right.
735,000 US dollars.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Then on the next business day, on February 9, there were several transfers, all to the account of Mr. William Go. One from La Grosas in the amount of $7,236,000 and change dollars. Correct?
That is what we discovered, Your Honor.
And then another one in the amount of $5,985,000 and change from the account of Mr. Michael Cruz to the account of Mr. Go. Correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Then on the same day, another transfer in the amount of $9,760,000 from the account of Mr. Enrico Vasquez to Mr. Go's account. Correct?
So what we discovered, Your Honor.
Thank you. Then on the same day, the amount of $15,215,000 from the account of Vasquez to the account of Mr. Go. Correct?
That amount, Your Honor, based on our investigation, was transferred from the account of Enrico Vasquez to the account of Philrem, Your Honor.
Oh, to Philrem, not to Mr. Go.
Not to Mr. Go, Your Honor.
What did you say? Philrem or Go?
To Philrem, Your Honor.
Thank you. Then finally, the amount of $19,951,000 from the account of Mr. Alfredo Vergara to Mr. Go or Philrem.
We found out, Your Honor, that on February 9, 2016, there was a withdrawal in the account of Mr. Alfred Vergara in the amount of $19,951,502.13 US dollars. And on the same date, there was a credit or a deposit to the account of Mr. William Sogo in the same amount, Your Honor.
All right.
I'd just like to point out that on February 9, all these amounts that you mentioned were withdrawn on February 9. And the stop payment request was already there in the morning of February 9. And yet all these millions of dollars were withdrawn. Had the stop payment request been honored, then $58 million of the $81 million would have been preserved and would have not gone astray.
All right. So all these amounts that we read to you amounted to about $80 million, $81 million, correct?
More or less, yes, Your Honor.
More or less, yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just a clarification on that. How much went to the accounts of William Go and how much went to Philrem?
Everything went to William Go except Philrem. These, I'm talking about the first tranches, not everything went to the account of Mr. Go except the $15 million from Vasquez, which went to
Yes, so
Philrem.
65 went to Go and 15 went to Philrem.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Now let me ask Philrem. Mrs. Bautista, the $15 million that you received from Mr. Vasquez, to whom did you remit that?
Your Honor, may I make a statement about our company?
No,
Before I
just answer the
answer?
question. Just answer the question first. I'll let you make the statement later.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Repeat. Okay, the question is, our records show on February 9, the amount of $15,215,000 and change was remitted from the Vasquez account, Enrico Vasquez, to Philrem.
Can I say the amount? Your Honor, 15 million was sold to our...
$15
Yes. It was exchanged through the RCBC Treasury.
No, I'm just asking if you received it.
Ah, yes.
Okay? All right.
Through RCBC, yeah.
Yes, it's through RCBC.
Yes.
Now, on February 5, Mr. Go
February 5.
remitted $500,000 to Philrem.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then on February 5 again, Mr. Go remitted $14,200,000 to Philrem.
Your Honor, upon advice of counsel, I don't think I can disclose any details of the transactions.
Why, you're not subject to the bank secrecy law, are you?
No, we
Are
have,
you a bank?
No, we are not.
All right.
We have been referred to Section 9C of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, which reads, when reporting covered or suspicious transaction to the AMLC, covered persons and their officers and employees are prohibited from communicating directly or indirectly in any manner or by any means to any person or entity, the media, the fact that a covered or suspicious transaction has been reported, the contents of the report or any other information in relation thereto. Neither may such reporting be published or aired in any manner or form by the mass media, electronic mail, or other similar devices. In case of violation thereof, the concerned officer and employee of the covered person and media shall be held criminally liable.
Okay.
And we've already reported the incident.
Was this a suspicious transaction? And if it was, why did you accept the money?
Your Honor, this transaction came from the branch of RCBC. RCBC, of which I've been dealing with for the last 18 years.
No, you just read a provision in the law
Yeah.
that prohibits anybody from talking about any suspicious transaction.
Yes,
but at
yes,
that
Your Honor.
time, this was not a subject of a suspicious transaction report.
No, but Your Honor, we already filed our suspicious transaction report.
But you still got the money.
Huh?
You received the money, 15,250,000.
But this is already, Your Honor, this is already part of the Section 9 Money Laundering Act. I may not, 9C.
You what?
This is already part of the Section 9C of the Anti-Money Laundering Act.
I'm asking you if you received this money from Mr. Go. It can't have disappeared into thin air.
We respectfully invoke the anti-money laundering provision under 9C.
Ms. Bautista, let's not talk about the bank accounts. Sige na. Muna, ha? Let's not go into that muna. Let's talk about your delivering cash, 600 million pesos, to a certain, what's the name again? Waikangsu. We're not talking about an account. There's no deposit here. It is physical giving of cash to a person, 600 million. Okay? You delivered it between February 5 to 13. Am I correct?
Your Honor, I have to respect and honor the Section 9C of the anti-money laundering.
It's not
It
part of a
is part-
deposit.
it is-
I'm just talking about you're delivering it to a certain
But
White
it is-
Kangsu.
But it is part of the. It is part of the report that we made to anti-money laundering.
You are saying that if you file a suspicious transaction report, that protects you from ever giving information? Gee, I would file a suspicious transaction report on every deposit I make so that I don't have to answer anybody's questions.
No, Your Honor, but we would like to cooperate with.
No, you're not cooperating. Come on. All right, let me ask you some harder questions. I will read this for the record and you can deny it. On February 5, Mr. Go remitted $500,000 to PhilRem. On February 5, Mr. Go remitted also $14,200,000 to PhilRem. On February 9, Mr. Go remitted $15,215,000 to PhilRem. On February 10, Mr. Go remitted $17,968,000 to PhilRem. On February 9, Mr. Go withdrew and redeposited in his account $13 million. Also on February 9, Mr. Go withdrew and redeposited in another account $20 million. Then on February 10, on the very same day, a day later, PhilRem remitted to the account of Eastern Hawaii 500 million pesos. So you changed the dollars into pesos, no? Yeah.
We remitted.
500 million PhilRem to Eastern Hawaii, then another 500 million on the same day from PhilRem to
Your Honor,
Eastern Hawaii.
we are a remittance company.
That's right. Very
so we
good.
remitted the funds.
So it's not against the law for you. All right. On February 5, 130 million pesos from PhilRem to Bloomberry. Correct? On February 5, another 200 million pesos from PhilRem to Bloomberry. On February 5, 100 million pesos from PhilRem to Bloomberry. And another transaction on February 5, 135 million pesos from PhilRem to Bloomberry. Correct?
Please verbally acknowledge.
You'll have to speak up so that your response can be recorded
We remitted the funds, Your Honor.
in those tranches?
The tranches that Senator Osmena said.
130, 200, 100, 135, more or less, no? Okay.
With the permission of Senator Osmena, just a clarification, single question. Are we saying here that based on the questions, $81 million also went through PhilRem? Earlier, we mentioned that it would appear that 65 went to William Go, 15 went to PhilRem. Now the 65 that went to William Go all went to PhilRem.
To be exchanged into pesos.
Yes, and therefore $81 million all went to PhilRem.
Yes. Yes.
And Ms. Salud also mentioned earlier that the 65 million was changed with the RCBC as well. Is that correct?
Part of it, yeah.
Well, can we listen to just that question? Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Bautista.
Part of it went to RCBC Treasury, and the others were delivered.
Okay, so except for the cash that you delivered, part of it went back to RCBC?
Yes, Your
The
Honor.
dollars?
Yes,
And in
Your
exchange,
Honor.
you got the pesos for it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Then on February 9, 8 million pesos from PhilRem to Bloomberry. On February 10, 8 million lang. From February 10, 200 million also from PhilRem to Bloomberry. 210 million, 100 million, 100 million, 190 million. Correct, more or less?
More or less, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Then there were two strange transactions because these were cash. You delivered 600 million pesos in cash. Cash. From to a Mr. Y. Kang Su at Soler. Do you know a Mr. Y. Kang Su?
Your Honor, he's the beneficiary of the remittance.
Yeah, so you know him. I mean, you know, when you're delivering 600 million in cash, I better know that it's the right guy.
Your Honor, it's not in one
Alam ko, but
delivery.
I'm asking,
Yes. It
you
was
know,
in-
and you confirmed that Mr. Y. Kang Su is indeed Mr. Y. Kang Su. Right? You asked for his passport, you asked for his... Yeah?
Verbal response.
Yes, Your
please.
Honor.
All right, good. Who gave you the instructions to deliver it to Mr. Y. Kang Su?
The branch manager.
The branch manager. Good. Do you confirm this, Ms. Deguito?
Sir, I will answer everything in the executive session when granted.
Do you know Mr. Y. Kang Su?
No.
You instructed somebody to deliver 600 million pesos in cash to somebody you don't know. Can you deliver it to me next time so that... if you're very cavalier with the recipients of such huge amount. Then there's another transaction which is even more curious. $18 million in cash, in dollars, was delivered by PhilRem to Mr. Y. Kang Su. Do you remember that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is it possible to get $18 million in cash?
Your Honor, it is, yes, Your Honor, and it is not in a period of one time. It
What was
in
the
a s-
period?
It was between,
5 to 13, no?
yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You were the one who delivered, Ms. Bautista?
In the beginning, yes, Your Honor.
And the end, who was delivering?
It was our delivery men.
Pero pinakilala mo na sa kay Y. Kang Su.
Yes, Your Honor.
Could anybody here answer the question, who knows Mr. Y. Kang-su? Is there a representative from Soler? Is there a Soler representative here?
Please identify yourself again, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Attorney Benny Tan, Corporate Secretary of Soler. Mr. Wai Kang-shu, I believe Your Honor is a junket player, junket agent.
All right. And you've had dealings with him for a long time. Now, of course, you don't know that this money was taken from the bank account of the Bangladesh government.
No, Your Honor.
All right. But he is normally a recipient of such huge amounts because he operates junkets. So it's understandable.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. But would Mr. Y. Kang-su also be part of a syndicate that involved in money laundering?
We do not know that, Your Honor.
You've never had any suspicion about that now?
No, Your Honor.
Why would he ask for cash if these were supposedly for, what do you call that? What's the term for it?
Front
Dead
money.
chips? Dead
chip.
Anong term ginagamit yan? Yung hindi mo ma-cash?
Non-cashable chips, Your
All
Honor.
right.
We are not privy to the cash transaction of.
No, I'm
the
just asking you a
gentleman.
hypothetical question. Hypothetical lang. Why is it not normally just remitted to the bank account like all the others were, no? Ito naman, dollars at cash. It's an incredible amount of money.
We don't know the answer, Your Honor. We're not privy to the transaction.
Yes, because, you know, it's also our information that the standard commission for money laundering is about 30%.
We don't know that, Your Honor.
You don't know that?
No, Your Honor.
Shucks. Now you know. Okay? No, it's big money. It's big money. Here you're talking about, what, $80 million. 30% of that is about $24 million. All of us here were in the wrong business. You know, we already have a very strict bank secrecy law, a very strict, very weak AMLA. So money laundering is the new way for the entrepreneurs of this country to go. That's 30%. So I'm curious, 600 million pesos in cash and $18 million in cash also paid to one person, Mr. Y. Kang-su.
We are not aware of that transaction, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have a way of finding out if this is accurate or not through your records? We'd like to know if Mr. Y. Kang-su actually used this for his junketeers on those dates, February 5 to 13.
We will verify from the records, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Just a clarification with the
Yeah.
permission of Senator Osmena. Earlier, there was testimony of how much money was wired to the casinos. Of the $81 million, how much money was wired through the bank account of the casinos? Ms. Bautista, would you know that? If it did come from PhilRem?
Ms. Bautista?
I just gave it.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to put on record officially the total amounts. It would appear to me that something like 60 million went into the casinos. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or less.
Could we? Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. More or less, $29 million worth went to the casino of Soler,
Okay.
and $21 million worth went to the Eastern Hawaii casino.
There's an Eastern Hawaiian casino?
No. You mean Eastern Hawaii Company?
Yes,
Which
yes,
is,
Your
which is
Honor.
the company of the missing fellow here today,
I don't know, Your
Kim Wong.
Honor.
Eastern Hawaii Leisure Company.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So is that a casino? The $21 million?
I'm not aware.
Okay, so
Your
again,
Honor.
so 29 went into a casino, that's for sure. The balance, where did it go? 21 went to that Eastern company.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then the other balance, the 30,
Went to the cash, to Wei Kang
did
Su.
not go to a casino, went to cash.
Yes, Your Honor.
So of the 81, what is established is 29 went into a casino. And we're not sure of the 51, if that went into a casino.
No, wait. No, wait.
May I interject?
Yes, please.
Eastern Hawaiian is a company. It's not a casino.
Yes, precisely. Okay.
Wait lang.
Okay, so 29 lang ang casino so far. Huh? Okay, thank you.
Kulang pa ng 30. Meron pang 30.
30, there was a testimony that that is the cash that went to that Wei Kang Shu. That's correct, right? Could we have a copy? Would the immigration officials have a copy of his passport? What does Wei Kang Shu look like?
We have a Xerox copy of his front cover of his passport.
Yes, and
We will be writing the
Administratively-
immigration.
yes, with the permission of the chair, could we have a copy of the report of the AMLA? All those transactions mentioned earlier. Could all the members of the committee, or at least my office, be furnished a copy of
For
all these transfers?
we got this information from the petition of the AMLA for the freeze order in the Court of Appeals.
Yes. Can we have a copy of this petition from the AMLA? That the committee members be furnished all this information.
Yes, we can furnish you copies of the petition for freeze that was filed before the
Yes.
Court of
and-
Appeals, Your Honor.
And any additional information.
Okay. Ms. Salud,
Thank you.
Ms. Bautista, yes. What exactly would the branch manager tell you when you gave these accounts when you sent these accounts to the several entities?
Your Honor, we were instructed to remit the funds to the other bank and to deliver the cash
Okay.
to its beneficiary.
You didn't ask any questions. Could you recall what was your conversation?
Your
Go ahead. Take your time. Go ahead.
Sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat the question?
What was your conversation when the branch manager told you to remit all these millions of dollars to the accounts?
Your Honor, it's like a regular remittance for us
Okay.
because we are a remittance company, so we get instructions from the sender where to bring the funds for its beneficiaries.
Okay. So these amounts were not suspiciously alarming to you. It's a regular course of business to you.
Yes, Your Honor, it's a regular course of business for us.
How long have you had business with the RCBC Jupiter branch?
I've had business with the RCBC Jupiter branch for a couple of years now.
More or less, how long?
In the branch, around 5 years.
And in all that time, it was Miss Deguito that you dealt with.
Yes, Your Honor. Or maybe 3 years. I cannot recall. Maybe 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just on your point, can we ask them what their fee was for all these transactions?
You heard the question, Ms. Bautista?
Sorry, may I? You
Mr.
repeat?
Chair, with your indulgence.
What's your fee?
What was the fee for all? Because these are huge amounts. These are billions of pesos, Mr. Chair. So what was the fee and what's the usual fee in this line of business, Mr. Chair?
Your Honor, you know, in the remittance business, we actually charge a flat rate per transaction. But depending on the type of service that we are going to give, so more or less, you will laugh, but it's 50 pesos per transaction.
150 pesos from
On
these
a-
transactions.
No, Your Honor, on a regular course of transactions that we have for OFW.
Well, how many transactions did 81 million entail, Mr. Chair?
Miss Salud, you've delivered 600 million pesos in cash, 18 million pesos in dollars, and you're saying 50 pesos lang na charge yung kita mo doon? Ang sinarge mo?
Because our transaction was a remittance transaction.
Yun nga. So 50 pesos lang. So dalawang 50 pesos, 100 pesos yung sinarge mo doon. Dalawang transaction.
Mr. Chair, can we hear verbal rather than a nodding of the head? Because for the
Yes, Miss Salud, please
Yes,
give us a
yes,
vote.
Your Honor, yes.
So 100 pesos for 600 million pesos delivery and 18 million dollars delivery.
But, Your Honor, it was not a one-time transaction. It was several times.
So how many times all in all? So number of times 50 pesos. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So kung yung kunyari yung 600 million na dineliver mo was from February 5 to 13. Sabihin mo ng 10 times 10 delivery, so 10 times 50 pesos, 500 pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Chair, just to follow up to your question,
Go ahead,
Mr.
go ahead,
Chair.
sir.
What was the total amount billed to regarding the 81 million dollars, all related amounts? 500 hubang ang tinanggap ninyo? Hindi po 500, magkano po, Mr. Chair?
And Mr. Chairman, sino nagbayad sa inyo?
It is possible that she might be incriminating herself with Kim Hanares. So we might have to go into executive session for.
We'd like to acknowledge the arrival of Senator Cynthia Villar. Good afternoon, ma'am. Who asked the question?
Pending question, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. We're waiting for the response.
What's the question again?
The question is, 500 pesos lang po ba ang kinita ng PhilRem dito sa mga transaction na
Okay,
to
so
na
the question
related?
is how much?
At kung hindi 500, ano po yung total?
Okay, please answer the question, Ms. Salud.
Your Honor, may I get back to you on that question when I've checked my records?
Siguro sa total, just in your recollection, I'm not asking for an exact figure at saka wala na hong penalty kung mali yung sagot ninyo. But just, was it daan ba ho to? Libo? Daang libo? 10,000?
May I help out there? They're money changers, and they make their spread. What's your spread here? About 50 centavos per dollar, or what?
Your Honor, we are a remittance company.
You exchanged $81 million into pesos, less 18 million that you delivered in cash.
We exchanged funds in order for us to be able to
No, I'm not
deliver
asking the reason.
pesos.
I'm asking
and
what is the
dollars.
rate? What was the rate at which you exchanged it? What did you charge for exchanging it?
But we are not a foreign exchange company, Your Honor. We are a
It
remittance
doesn't
company.
matter what you are. How much did you charge to do the exchange?
But we don't exchange.
So you
We're
don't
not a
own-
foreign exchange company, Your Honor. We are a remittance company.
Binigay sa inyo dollars.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
then you change it into pesos.
RCBC. Through RCBC
So
Treasury.
it was RCBC. Will you confirm that, RCBC? Because I understand not all was RCBC. RCBC only exchanged a small portion, the treasury of RCBC. How much did RCBC exchange? And I'm talking about a dollar peso foreign exchange transaction. So I don't suppose.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
I understand your standard is about 50 centavos per dollar.
I don't have a
No? You mean you will exchange $81 million for free?
Go ahead.
Yes?
Marcel.
Your Honor, I believe that they exchanged about $66 million with
That's
RCBC
right.
Treasury.
All right. And of course, you made your spread, but you don't know what their spread was.
Your Honor, we made a very minimal spread. We don't know what the spread of PhilRem was. Yes, we agree. But RCBC Treasury made a very minimal spread.
What is minimal to RCBC?
Total about 2 million pesos.
What's that in terms of centavos per dollar? Normally, you have
Less than 1
a
cent.
standard 27 centavos.
Less than a
per-
cent, Your Honor.
Less than 1 U.S.
Less
cent.
than 1 cent.
1 U.S. cent
Less.
per dollar. So times 47, that's
It's about 2 million.
47 centavos. About 50 centavos per dollar. That's what I said earlier. Diba? Okay. And they probably charge another 50 centavos.
We have no idea, Your Honor.
No.